the document that Scott and I have been working on to go over the complete onboarding process. Just toss a quick save on this. So again, it's sales event information. We pretty much come in here after 8. Miriam adds the basic information, just tops. At this point, the member is still pending when Miriam puts them in. So then the next thing is I receive the enrollment letter confirmation. I'm copied on that, and that's when I go and move the member from pending to member. I've included the screenshots here, so you go into the professional tab of TOPS, click edit, and you can change the membership status. Now what we'll do right now is we'll take a member, pull this screen over. I'm just going to go back. Jerry is already a member. I need to get these other people in. So Jerry is set. We're going to go to Randy Smith. And just as it's documented in the document, we're going to go to professional. Actually, one other thing, this comes up in just a moment, but I'm going to do this now to save us all time. I'm copying the town in which they live, going to professional, clicking on edit. Save that as the primary town, even if they change it, because when we do the video presentation, if we do, that's the only way that we can look them up in the member directory. Not a huge thing, but it just is nice to say, look, here you are, here's your particular notice in the member directory. And this is also detailed in the document. I'll show that in just a moment. But go to membership status, from pending, all the way down here to member. Bottom of the page, update member information. Now the system is aware that there is a new member. They should generate letters. I say should because there's a question as to how long that may take for us to get that information, or get those emails sent. So that's the next step of the process. Once they're set to members, we've done this. We're at number 11. We've set the membership status to member. Also at the same time, I'll do the, as I say, I'll cut the enrollment confirmation saved in the notes. I will also look for a bio on the website at that time for that member. If we have it, then I'll take it and put it in TOPS also. We're also going to put in the ambassadors. You can see under the personal tab, I'm sorry, let's toss it. I'm sorry to do some of these upgrades right now, but it's just going to take a moment. And if I don't get there now, I'm afraid that we won't get there at all. There we go. In the personal tab where it says edit. So again, we're going to go back to Randy Smith, personal tab, click edit. The only way that we can identify people as ambassadors is under assistant, and I'm going to do a separate video taking us through TOPS, detailing all of the exports and how we can find things there. And I'm going to put in ambassador. And again, also click save. So going back to the document, we've gone into under personal and edit. Then we'll put ambassador in and update that information. The email address, then, I will cut and paste that and invite them to the Top 5 Facebook group page. That I'm not going to do now. That's pretty simple. At this point, because they have been made from pending to member, we will send out the letters. The first letter that should go out is that member, the Welcome to Top 5 in Real Estate Network. It hasn't popped up on my screen yet, so that's not generated yet in TOPS. It can take sometimes an hour or sometimes even overnight. For those to send, that's saved as document 2 in the appendix document. That's an automatically generated letter. It will also automatically generate a member center activation letter. There we go. There's member status changed to member. That's the third letter. This letter, member status changed. Let's just take a look at that. I don't know if this is going to continue to be part of the process, but I'm just going to talk about it right now, because here we have status change from pending to member. I will forward this to Chris Nichols and put in the contact information for Randy Smith. And in that forward, I'll put Randy Smith in the subject matter, so Chris can reach out to them for any social media applications if he, that he wants to. That we'll already have invited them to the private group. So that's how we make Chris aware that we have a new member. That letter also This letter also goes to Peter DeSalvo, who is in the office, who is the go-to person for all things resource. When Peter receives that letter, he'll go into TOPS, get the contact information, and invite them to resource. At that point, I also take, because I'm copied on those letters, I take copies of all of those letters and save them into the member folder. And Les, as you know from working with TOPS, the only way that we can get timestamps on it is take those letters and forward them, copy the complete forwarded email, and put that into TOPS. So at the top it says the date and time that we received that information. Again, that's only if there were any, if we needed to prove that in any way. In all my years, I've never had to do that, but I'm happy to have the ability. That are all of the things that will happen immediately when someone is set from pending to member. The next step, I'll generate the new member certificate. That is saved. The Photoshop document is saved in the onboarding file. Onboarding documents file. And I'll be happy if somebody else has Photoshop and wants to see how I do that. I can set that up because I can toss them out in like 30 seconds. It's a very simple process. At that point, internally, Alice will create and send a welcome kit. That will include 2 documents that are generated by Alice. Document 5, that letter has my name on it, so that would be one thing that we'll need to update, and also a letter from Verl. These 2 letters are included in the welcome kit, and again are generated by Alice. Alice will also take that welcome kit, include all the supporting materials that are necessary. She'll generate the UPS label. When she does, you have the ability, and I can document this if you think we need to, you have the ability to forward any of that information to someone. So I will also take that, and Alice will forward that email to me, so I'll get an email when that label is generated. Also, I will get an email when that package is delivered so that I can follow the accountability of all of the materials that we send out. Those letters are both saved in the welcome kit. As you can see, I save those here. Those are saved in TOPS number 21. Number 22, I make the welcome call and schedule the orientation webinar. I'll say attempt to schedule the orientation webinar. This can be the arduous part of the process. I leave a message in TOPS saying that a welcome call was sent, a welcome call was made, and also to schedule a webinar. Now, I did not document the fact that the date and time that I do that. That needs to be done here in TOPS. I'll show you right now, and I'll go back and add a visual under the Involvement tab. Under Deliverables, where it says Welcome Call. Once you click Edit, you have the ability to put the date in. And save. So that needs to be done also. That's also a traceable. We can export that in TOPS also. I'm not sure I can check on that. But I'll go into so that happens here. It's step 22. With the welcome call, we document that welcome call was made in TOPS, and then also with the email that is followed up, and that's
Chris, go ahead and add that there.
Oh, should you want me to pull screenshots? Sure.
I guess you don't have to pull screenshots. Was the description in there?
Yes. The description. This description is there. I'll pull that screen. I'll put a screenshot in later to show exactly where that is. The letter is generated by me. I normally have one saved in my sent mail, and I'll just forward it, take out the person's name. That just makes things a little easier to deal with in that way. Peter DeSalvo will also generate the resource letter, which will be give them their login information with their complimentary membership and then the member name. That letter is also saved as document 8. So at this point, we've done our outreach. I'm assuming that we have not scheduled the webinar for these purposes. The welcome materials may be received. Alice has can't spell. Alice has put that notification in TOPS, so I get a notice when that package is delivered at the office, so I can know when I'm speaking with someone if they've received our materials. If no webinar is scheduled, I do repeated calls. If we get to a point at which we've not been able to reach someone, Scott, you generated and you helped me work on the text for this letter. Don't miss out the benefits of your membership for Top 5. This will be like if I've gone a month and I haven't been able to reach them, and it's pretty much saying, I'm trying to reach you. If you want to go forward with this, please reach out to me, but I can't keep calling you all the time. Number 26, as we do the webinar is completed. I've uploaded a copy of my webinar presentation, the PowerPoint slides, to our Dropbox, Scott. The presentation is followed up with an email, which is document 10. Thank you so much for your time today. Again, this is also a letter that I've generated. It can be customized to the conversation. It can include information about Les and his team in doing the complete implementation. It also includes, as you see, questions for the website, the spotlight questions. I include that member checklist, an opt-in, the email opt-in that you can for the email deliverables to put in your email signature, thank you with the press release, and to drive people to your website, that text. In addition, just check here. Yes, okay. So here you see, okay, that got put in the wrong place. In addition to this, there is a link to the recorded webinar if one is made. Sometimes people don't want it, or technologically we just can't make it work. There's also a link to the 30-day action plan, links to the login to the Top 5 Facebook page and to like it, and a link to the group page, even though they've already been invited by me. So I can delete this. Also, if a photo is uploaded during the webinar, it will be saved. I need to take and save it into the member media file, and I will put in a screen graphic of how to do that. These are all things which you may or may not wish to do going forward. When the ad is run in the magazine announcing the membership, I take that ad and send them an email announcing that that's going to be in the magazine, send them a link to the online version. The biographical information is forwarded to Paige. She will generate the bio, send it to me for approval. It also goes to the complete PQ team. I will take and forward that to the person. They will either, as it says here, suggest changes, or they'll approve it as it is. If it gets changed, it goes back to, if they say I want this change, I send it back to Paige. She makes the changes. We send it again for approval until that is done. Once the bio is approved, I forward the approved bio to Paige, who formats it as a press release. She will send it to the media outlets. I will send the final PDF to the member with the former client's letter and with a couple of other letters which I will add in just a moment. And again, those letters are also generated by me and can be edited and changed in any way. Seven to 10 days after the webinar, I do an auto send of an email that's generated in my Outlook, where I go in and generate this email, put it to send at a later date. I send just checking up on your top 5 implementation. We haven't spoken for a couple of days, wanted to see how things are going. This letter, again, is saved in the documents, and we also included in that is a plug again for Les in the IT team. If you're having problems, or if you just feel like you'd like to have this taken care of by someone, they can do this for you. 30 days after the webinar, and again, this is set up to auto-send in Outlook, and that's on a member-to-member basis. I send out another generic follow-up letter. How are things going? By this point, you should have these things going on. If you have any questions, reach out to us. And if you also haven't done anything, let me know, and we can have Les and his team jump in also. After that point, that is pretty much the complete implementation. Let me rephrase that. That is the complete normal process of implementation, as much as that may happen. While I have you gentlemen on the call, are there any questions about that? I do know that I need to go back in and add a couple of documents, and I'll add some screenshots and move this around a little bit. I'm having an issue with my formatting on this, but make sure that this is as clear as possible. But again, for the purposes of our recording, is there anything else I can help anyone with here?
Paris, I'm still recording. Paris, one of the things that it would help is, for example, on 27 and 28, 7 to 10 days after the webinar, you send a generic follow-up letter. This is a letter that I assume you've just got crafted. And how do you have a calendar item or a reminder go off in your PC that tells you when to do this, or is this an automatic send? What is this?
That is an automatic. Well, this is how those are done. When I generate that letter, there in just a moment, I'll go to under Options in Outlook, Delay Delivery, and I'll set that to 7 to 10 days, depending on where that falls. So I'll try and not to do it on a Friday, for example. I'll have them arrive maybe on the next Monday and have it go out then during the day and close that so that it will automatically be sent. Now with that letter, I will also copy myself so that I receive a copy that that email went out, and that also will be saved in the member record so that we have so that if anyone were to say, well, I never heard from you again, we have some way to document, yeah, we did reach out to you.
Okay. All right. And that's the same thing. So you're just putting those notices, you're putting those emails, when you're doing the original orientation, you're putting those emails right into Outlook and setting the delayed delivery to those dates.
That's part of the follow-up after the webinar. Yeah, because while this is the way that I do it, and forgive me, I didn't document this, but I download the recording from GoToMeeting to my desktop. It's another thing. The GoToMeeting, the recording is also saved in the member media file. And I'll pull screenshots to document that. But where that goes, hang on just a moment. That goes to member media file. From the member media file, I upload it then to YouSendIt or whatever third-party sending that we can use, and I'll send them the link to that webinar because it's too large to send. Now let's see, I can go to, and this letter is also documented. Now here we go. A copy of this letter is saved in the file, but this is where you see now we didn't do a recording for Bob Sokler, but if we had, there'd also be a hyperlink here that would go to that Dropbox, excuse me, would go to the YouSendIt URL that generated for his recording. And I don't know that anyone ever listens to them. I've never heard that they have, but then again, it's just all of the trying to push as much of that out to their responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've got a copy of this somewhere?
Yes, you have copies. Copies of all of these letters saved in the onboarding process. Starting here at document 1, again, this is the application process. We have a copy of this. I mean, this is generated by PQ, so I don't know that there's any real reason for it, but you do have it. The enrollment confirmation, welcome to Top 5 in the Member Center. These are automatically generated. Member status change to member, that's also automatically generated. The kit cover, that comes from Alice. The number 6, which is also the second cover letter, also comes from Alice. Let's schedule a webinar. I generate that. That's the welcome call. Follow-up email. Resource account, that's generated by Peter Salvo. This is that document 9. That's that 30-day. If we haven't heard from them in 30 days to set up set up a webinar. Thanks so much for your time today. That's the follow-up to the webinar. That includes all of any PDFs of any documents that they may have asked about, a certain set of PDFs that just automatically go, how to drive traffic to your site is included in that, the questions for the member spotlight, is included there that will also have the hyperlinks to the 30-day action plan and a hyperlink to a recording if one was made. Here's the spotlight questions that go in that email number 10, excuse me, in document number 10. The checklist can be included. The email opt-in can be included. The thank you with press release, not so important anymore, but it still sometimes goes out. That text, visit my website every day for up-to-date real estate news and information, drive traffic to my site text, how to insert a top 5 button into an email signature, and then again, this is the 7 to 10 day letter, just checking in, and then how are things going with top 5, that's the 30-day document. Here's a press release sample. I generally do not send this out. This is a receipt that must have come from, these documents can be cleaned out of here because this is not really important anymore. And then again, that welcome to top 5, this is the PQ generated letter.
Okay.
And again, I know I owe you some things. I will document the welcome call, put that saved into the Member Center, and also the photos are saved in the Member Center. And then again, the photos are uploaded by the member either during our webinar or at a later point.
Okay.